This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to the Bladen County Monday, December 16th, Board of County Commissioners meeting. Reverend Warren Hill from Wesley Chapel will lead us in invocation. David Howell, will you lead us in pledge of allegiance? Please stand.
Pray with me, please. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you give us today. Thank you for us to be able to gather here tonight and take care of the county's business. We just pray, Lord, that you be with each of our commissioners, Lord, to guide them, direct them, give them knowledge and wisdom, and Lord, that they would depend on you. Lord, we pray that this meeting goes well, that your will be done with it. Bless our county, keep us safe. Please be with those that are mourning losses today, Lord. We just ask that you lead, guide, and direct us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Warren. Thank you, David. Before we approve the consent items, we need to add 5F on matters of interest, technology use policy and amendment to incorporate the NCG 143-83805, consider to amend and adopt. So I'll entertain a motion to approve with the change. Yes, sir. Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Ellis.
Of course.
Okay.
When you put an asterisk, what does that mean? That you, for action item or interest,
Do what?
if it has an asterisk?
143-805?
No.
What do you say?
D, D, E, and all those.
Someone asked you.
The asterisk. You put an asterisk on it?
That means it's action item.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So F is the action.
Why is there this
F is
one?
the action.
Okay,
I didn't understand, I'm sorry.
sorry.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Individual delegation wish to address the board, Ms. Marie?
Yes, sir. Mr. Harold Dameron.
Yes, sir.
You can step up.
Why?
I'm Harold Damron. I live 230 Diamond Trail. We've been here 5 years. And I'd like to address you. I've won a case against Chuck Brock, builder. And I was awarded $10,000. It's been 2 years ago. I have received no money. I've been and filed papers 3 times where you pay like $30 to $55 to get things done. Nothing's happened. We're both retired, living on a fixed income. And to us, $10,000 is a lot of money. At this point in time, it's $11,012. And I would like to know, addressing you, how do I go about getting my award? I'm taking him small claims and run that. I took him to court, but the judge told me to get an attorney. So can you give me direction?
Mr. Brock, if you leave your number with Miss Marie, I'll get back with you tomorrow. I don't know what.
I'm Harold Damron.
Yeah, you'll give her your name and number. I'll call you tomorrow. I don't know what to tell you now.
Okay.
But I'll call you tomorrow after I talk to some people.
Well, thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to make a comment on that. It may be also something our attorneys might want to look at. The sheriff has actually met people in my store that have been taken advantage of $20,000 or $40,000. And, you know, it's a shame these people are in our county, supposed to be doing this work, and taking advantage of these people, and can't even get the media to publish who they are. And in Mr. Howard's case, he come to see me. He didn't know anything about the permitting. The contractor told him, they found him online. The contractor said he would handle all that. And I can understand if you don't know, that you'd assume he's done what he's supposed to do. And then when Mr. Harold finally got our inspector out there, he made him tear it all down. And couldn't salvage anything out of it. So, and I wish there was something we could do. And I think if there's any way possible, we need to let the public be aware of who these people are. I'll be honest with you, I would take it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to yourself.
Well, it's 3 times that I've actually taken advantage of here. I moved from Indiana, and up there you could pretty much, you knew people longer, but you could shake their hands, and it was a contract. Didn't really have to worry. You know, fool me once, shame on me. You guys know the rest. That point in time when I had fallen, and I wasn't in great shape, almost died. And my wife immediately got online and found a contractor. And I was, you know, I had severe head trauma, so I didn't know much for a few days, month and a half. And when I got to recognizing stuff, because I actually built some in the past, and it was too late, and he backed up, took the remaining stuff, and it's like, where are you going? Oh, it's gonna rain. Never did show back up. I did my due diligence, found out where he lived, I know where his father works, I know where his mother works, could buy his place, to make sure that's where it was, and I did that all to the magistrate and the people involved.
And you won the case.
But this gentleman was supposed to have been building your residence.
He was actually adding on, the front and back porch, have a screened-in porch in the front and the back. We put a double wide in and make it more homey.
What was his name?
Chuck Brock.
Mr. Harold, I'll be glad to get back with you tomorrow.
Yes, sir, I know you've been.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Is that D-R-O-C-K?
If you'll give Miss Marie your phone number, I'll call you tomorrow.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Brock, B-R-O-C-K.
So, Chip, will you come forward, you and your wife?
You didn't know she was gonna get cut.
Well, you brought her, so.
That's right.
So commissioners and, citizens, this is Chip Perry. He is our service, maintenance superintendent. He replaced Kip McClary, and Kip said, Chip's, I got a Chip for Kip. So Chip he was going to give you a little information about himself tonight, he said, he wanted to do that.
Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight, and I thank you for this opportunity to work for Bladen County. I grew up in Leland, North Carolina, went off to school, met my beautiful wife, worked at Baptist Hospital in Winston for a number of years, and then slowly morphed into maintenance and construction. And anyway, to make a already long story short, I ended up here after being with Cumberland County Schools for 5 years. We've been married since 1990. We have an adult son, getting ready to be grandparents in April. So we're real excited about that. But I just want to let y'all know how thrilled I am to be here and what a privilege it's going to be to work for Bladen County. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to Bladen County. Welcome. Okay, Mr. Cogdell, if you come forward. Your commissioners come around here. It's your time to roast it if you want to roast it.
Yeah.
This is payback, guys, if y'all want it.
Back now, yeah, I better watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Mike.
So in grateful appreciation to Mike Cogdell for dedicated service to the people of Bladen County as County Commissioner, presented by the Bladen County Board of Commissioners, presented the second day of December 2024. And Mike served from December of 2012 to December 2024.
That sounds about right.
Mike, it's been a pleasure, brother.
Anybody else got anything to say about me, good or bad?
I missed you, but I missed you.
Well, I get started now? Well, I'm telling y'all guys, now, I've been on this thing for 12 years, and sitting out there looking this way looks kind of unusual. But I'm glad to be on that side for a change.
Turn it around.
And like I've told everybody, it's been one thing that I hope I've done some good while I was on here for 12 years. And I've tried to do my best and do all I know how to do. And I had to learn how to get self-tolerance to the tallest of my perspective with my counterpart here. He kept me invigorated all the time. And I came into a meeting, I had to stay in church. Because sometimes he would disencourage. I had to stay in church. And to everybody here, all you guys, let me shake your hand. And this female here,
Thank you so much.
I have enjoyed it. Have enjoyed it. Have enjoyed it. Have enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Mr. Gooden, I enjoyed you because I done served with you before. So everybody up here, they done come and gone, but I've been here a long time. I don't see them come and go. And Charles,
Enjoy, bro.
I enjoy
Take care of
it.
yourself.
And I hope I've done some good for Bladen County, like y'all guys say. I'm not dead. If you need something, call me. And if I need something, I will come see you.
Hey, you know, last time he was here, he gave his go-away speech. He said, "I'm getting out of politics for a little while." He called me 3 times the next day.
I had to keep him in perspective of what he's doing.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this time, we're hearing an update from the Kingdom Community Development Corporation.
You got me right back on top. But this time, guys, I'm coming up and to introduce to you Mr. D. Carl Manning and Ms. Wendell Davis. This is the developer. This is a
Best practice, guy.
best practice guy. He works with me. And what I want to talk to you guys about, we've been through this several times. And I think some of y'all have already met the individuals here. And they have talked to us about affordable housing. It's a project I took on about 4 years ago. And I had to search out people that would meet HUD requirements that could handle affordable housing. I had to reach out to the HUD director to assure that he will provide the resources if the county so choose to implement affordable housing. It's been an ordeal that I've been hoping that. One thing I took on that kind of disturbed me some is when we got the last census report, I looked at people leaving Bladen County. And I hated for that to happen on my watch, that the population had declined. And some of it because we didn't have public housing. People didn't have nowhere to stay. And when you ride around through Bladen County, you will see right now that's still a major issue with blighted homes and places for no one to stay in. Some of these houses run down, and I've seen in the last 4 years a deterioration of houses. And I know that's the issue. And I'm hoping that we can maybe start this new venture in the county. And I can say, well, I left this on your mind to start it because these gentlemen here have got the expertise, have got the resources, but need the county input and support in starting affordable housing. And this is something that everybody, when you look at it on the news, everywhere I look at, every county, that's something that they are investing in highly right now is affordable housing because it's an issue statewide. So I hope these guys can sell you on the idea and the concept that can help get this county turned around with housing and try and increase our population back instead of going the opposite direction. Because right now we're in declining mode. And when people come in, that's the first thing I get calls all the time. Do you know where's some place you can stay? There's a house somewhere, something you can rent. And you can't direct them nowhere because there's nothing here that we can look at. So I'm gonna turn it over to these two guys and hopefully they can sell you an idea of affordable housing.
Okay, well, thank you. Ex-Commissioner Cosdale. Again, Commissioners, my name is Carl Manning. I'm the Director of Kingdom Community Development. I've been here several times to present something to you guys around what we do at Kingdom. We are based in Cumberland County, Spring Lake, North Carolina. So this is basically our motto and our vision and our mission. Building communities one house at a time. We partner to transform lives one house at a time. Our concentration is basically on ownership We very rarely do multifamily rental. We are looking to do single-family ownership. We like to create generational wealth for the clients that we work with. Well, this is me. I am a veteran. I did not retire, but I am a veteran of the North Carolina A&T State University. Over the 15 years, I've been in the mortgage industry, and I've been with Kingdom CDC ever since 1999. I'm on several boards, quite a few boards, as a matter of fact. At Kingdom, what we did at one time, we decided to venture off into social enterprise. What I did, I looked at all the opportunity that was available for us, and social enterprising is a concept that nonprofits use to venture off into for-profit businesses so that that business can help support the nonprofit if things go bad. So I looked, as I looked around the country and around the area where I was working in and all businesses that I could do, I decided to go with IHOP. Because IHOP is an iconic brand and still is an iconic brand. It's been in business for over 60-some years now. And we had some property there in Spring Lake, so we bought the IHOP concept. So I was the franchisee for IHOP for 7 years. We had one in Spring Lake and we had one in Holly Springs. Out of that, we ran it for 7 years. I was franchisee of the year for IHOP, the Southeast region. So that is just of who I am, the things that I've done in my past. And there have been a lot, but we're just going to just go with that for right now. We were founded in 1995 by a group of citizens out of a church that wanted to do something in the community to help the community that they were living in, to try to get rid of some of the dilapidated houses that they saw all the time. So they decided to form a nonprofit organization in 1995, and they did. The city of Fayetteville gave them a grant to build some houses, and they did. However, at that time, they did not have the experience and expertise to move the project along faster. So therein, they hired me to come in to make the process work, because I had experience in the mortgage industry and a little bit of experience in building. I had no experience in the CDC movement. I had no idea what that was. When I first heard that, I thought it was Center for Disease Control, the CDC. How can you build a house and sell it for less than what you built it for? That was amazing to me. However, after I studied it and stayed in this business long enough, working with the state of North Carolina, working with HUD, I figured it out, exactly how this thing should be done. And ever since then, I've been doing just that. This picture here is a picture of a complex that I've completed. This is a 20-unit subdivision that we did in the town of Spring Lake. This one is a 5-unit single-family housing development that we just completed. Additionally, right next to this particular site, I didn't have enough room to put everything on there, is a 10-unit single-family subdivision that I'm building under construction right now as we speak. There's 10 units coming up here. This is one of the designs of the houses that we're building right now that is in this particular subdivision. This is a little testimonial of what we do. And I don't want to take up much of the time because I want to get to some other things. I guess this is just an exercise. We've been doing this for quite some time. Okay, this is. Okay, so this is not going to work for me. Do we have sound in here?
No.
No. Okay, so this is not going to work. This is one of the houses that I built, and this is just a walkthrough of the house, the interior. And I wanted you to see that so you can understand exactly what we do. All of our houses are built energy efficient, and they are tested by System Vision out of Raleigh for energy efficiency. This house was just a house I wanted, the young lady that we sold this house to, I wanted you to hear her testimony as to how she started the process and how she's now in her home as a single mom, first-time home buyer. And the things that she went through just by listening to what we had to tell her, and she followed our instructions to do it. Okay, this is leading me right into where I want to go. In Bladen County, the income guidelines, HUD's income guidelines in Bladen County, as we speak right now today, is $54,100. That's the median income in Bladen County. Now, the way that we look at this for HUD, in order to work into our program to get the down payment assistance that we have available to us, we look at this in family sizes. So a family size of one, we try to work with families 80% of the area median income. We try not to go too low because the debt to income ratio would probably debt income ratio wouldn't work if you go too low on some of the houses that we built, unless there was some heavy subsidy in there. So for a household of two, 46, they can't make any more than $46,950. Family of four, $58,650. That's a husband and wife, 2 kids. Anything that falls under this, we can give them the down payment assistance that I'm speaking of, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. Oh, my site plan is gone. I'm sorry, I did have a site plan of the site there. Well, we're looking at a site that is a 16, my engineer designed it out for us where we can get 16 units in there. I'm so sorry about that. It was there when I left. I don't know what happened to it. But the project, we estimated, and all of these numbers are just an estimation right now. We really don't know what that is going to be until we dig deeper into it, but I'm gonna get close to this as I possibly can. Things are changing in the affordable housing arena drastically, daily, every day. There are other state agencies that are beginning now to want to put more money into affordable housing because some of the other areas that they were putting their money in is not producing the income, it's not doing the work that it should do for the communities that they're trying to work in. So they have decided to put some of their funds into affordable housing, and they're looking for organizations like us, nonprofits like us, to go into communities where we can do this work. We do it well in Cumberland County, in Spring Lake and Fayetteville, because they both are entitlements. So as an entitlement, we get money to make these things happen, and as an entitlement, they can inject more money into the project to make the project feasible and financially. So Bladen County is not an entitlement, so there are some things we have to do to work around. This proposed project that we're looking at right now, we projected the land cost to be right around $195,000. Development costs to put the 16-unit subdivision in, water, sewer, curb and gutter, sidewalks, because I'm sure sidewalks is probably something that would make the project look beautiful, and I'm sure the county would probably like to see that. So that cost right there is about $1 million, a little bit more. This is our administrative cost. We're talking about developer's fee, attorney fees, consultant, environmental, which totals about $148,000. Proposed infrastructure costs, 1.4. Housing costs, we're looking at houses within the range of 1,325 to 1,400 square feet. Cost to build estimated around 195. Total 16 homes, $3.1 million. Land cost and development, 1.1. Vertical construction, physical building of the homes, right around $3 million. Total cost right about $4.2 million. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky here because we don't really know. I don't understand right now as we speak, and things are changing drastically every day, what the appraised value of some of these houses would come in at. So I'm just using basically what we did in the town of Spring Lake. A house coming in at $224,000, this is a home buyer scenario. CPLP, that is a program out of the Housing Finance Agency that we are partnered with, that allow us to work with families under that 80% of the area median income that I just mentioned to you a few minutes ago. If you're under that, if you meet that and under, you can get up to, actually, I put this $25,000 in there because I was thinking we were going to use some USDA funding. However, this $25,000 can go up to $50,000 because they do 25% of the sales price of the house, not to exceed $200,000. So they can get up to $50,000 as down payment assistance. Also, the Housing Finance Agency, there's another $15,000 they can get. I had included what we're looking for here, and this is something that we can talk about, and we need to talk about, the $62,500 coming from the county of Bladen County. That is that divided by 16, that's that $1 million that we had talked about coming from the county itself. So that would leave a balance, if that be the case, and we can work on that, because there's $50,000, additional $25,000 here. That would leave a balance to finance of $121,500. At 6%, 6.5% interest rate, they give a P&I of $767.95. I estimated, because I don't know, I estimated our property taxes to be right at about $1,500 a month, a year. That's $125 a month. I estimated the insurance to be right at about $83,000 a month. That would give a family household mortgage of $976.30. Again, these numbers are all estimated. This is basically what we do in the city of Fayetteville and in Spring Lake. Now, with that, had estimated taxes at $1,500 a month, a year, times 16 homes, that's $24,000 a year. The 16 homes divided into that $1 million that we're looking for, $62,500. That would be the down payment assistance that would be left into the house to help the homeowner with a sustainable mortgage. To break even on that, it would take the county 47 months to break even on that $1 million of property taxes that would be awarded to this particular home. Now, what I want to do here is just kind of go over one thing to kind of let you see how I go from here to go to escape. I want to do something here to show you how this is a spreadsheet that I developed to show how clients can make these houses truly affordable. So the house, if it appraised $224,000, CPLP at $25,000, again, that could go up to $50,000. Home Advantage, that's another part of the $15,000, some other funds that they can get out of Housing Finance Agency. This is the town, $62,000. That leaves, like I said, $121. 6.5% interest rate for 30 years. That's their PMI. PMI. Principal and interest. Property insurance, property taxes, insurance, $976. So for a family that is making $41,000 a year, they can be approved with their debt ratio no more than 30% of their income for that particular mortgage. This is how we calculate our income here. And that's someone making right at about $20 an hour, doing 40-hour work. I'm pretty sure that would accommodate a lot of the people here in Bladen County. Now, if we look at this and we say, oh, so let me make the changes. Yeah, what it is. If we look at this and we did go up to the 20%, 25% that the housing finance agency would allow, that would bring that mortgage down to $818 a month. Still using the same property taxes and insurance. We're just putting more money into the house. If we had to get rid of this, if at all, or if the house value came in different, if the house value came in at feels that this particular client can still be approved for this particular house at 30% of their income, not going towards their mortgage, and their mortgage will, estimated mortgage at about $982.62. This is how I calculate whatever it is that I need to include in here. And like I said, INCOR has funds that they're trying to redirect into next year, along with the Housing Finance Agency, who is trying to increase their down payment assistance. INCOR has a down payment assistance that we just closed about last week, where they gave the client $30,000 down payment assistance. If we were to, if they come back with that again next year, that is additional down payment assistance that we would have, that we don't have to ask for all of this initially to go as down payment assistance. The $1 million that we would divide into the project itself could probably go in to help offset some of the infrastructure costs. Okay, so everything is kind of fluid right now because with the new administration, we don't know what HUD is going to do. How the finance agency is working hard to make sure that they maintain their funds so they can continue doing this work. The Rural Center is trying to make sure that they have funds so now they can put their funds into the rural communities to do this work, where they hadn't been doing it before to this degree. So they are working diligently to do that, and they are looking for nonprofits like us who have been in the business for years to take on that task. Had that be the case with them, this project would be one of the first that we would look at. So the ask tonight is to, and I think we had talked about this once before, is $1 million to be put into the project. And as I stated in the one before, with that $1 million, y'all would break even at about 40 months. That is not including, that's just property tax, not including water, sewer, but I understand you guys don't get water and sewer, y'all own with property taxes.
That's good. Just clarification. For clarification, my math may not be as good as yours. Saying break even in about 48 months.
48 months.
But run me through that math again, just because I'm confused.
Let me just see what that was. Yeah. Thinking if that was right, let's look at this.
Well, so $1,500 a year times 16 homes That's only $24,000.
Mm-hmm.
You need 48 years, not 48 months.
Yes, you missed, that's my bad. Yes.
While you're looking that up, if you don't mind, Mr. Pierce, mention this while you're looking at that.
22 months.
Between 16 homes and between $4 and $5 million for the total package. You got between $425,000 to $500,000 each home. If you look at the total amount of money, numbers got here.
With the infrastructure, with the.
Yeah.
And I was right, I mean, what I was looking at on the screen said we would break even at 47 months. But I did the math over and over, and that's
It's
47.
It's years. It's years, I'm sorry.
47 years, that's a
She put the math.
huge difference.
That is a huge difference. She put the math, my, person put the math in there wrong on that. Very sorry about that. The idea is to come up with affordable housing for rural communities. There are organizations that are out here now working very hard because of the changes that HUD is making to make sure that they can put these funds into the rural areas to make affordable housing available. Single-family affordable housing for home ownership, where we can start creating generational wealth.
And the homeowner would have no skin in the game, is that correct?
The homeowner?
You're saying down payment assistance. When I think of assistance, I think if somebody's got $90 and they need an extra 10, that's an assistance. Giving them $100, that's not assistance, that's just.
They would be responsible for closing costs. The $50,000 coming from the Housing Finance Agency is not, that is to be paid back at the end of 30 years. They tack that on, the $50,000 on to the end of 30 years.
And the mortgage.
To the mortgage. So that is a way to make the house affordable. So now they're not collecting monthly rent. They just attack it to the end of 30 years. Once your mortgage is over within 30 years, you begin to start paying that $50,000 back. However, you can pay it back throughout the 50 years throughout the 30 years if you choose to. By that time, you've generated equity in your home. So it's, in our Home by Education program, what we do try to educate the people on is to save money. That's through our IDA program, to save money and to make an additional payment if you can on your mortgage. So because that is going to come due in 30 years. It's not like you just can walk away with it. And now the Housing Finance Agency, the program has not been in existence long. This program has not been in existence long enough to get someone 30 years. So what they're thinking about at some point, should they make that $50,000 forgivable? Or should they collect it at no interest rate? Because these are home funds coming from HUD that they are using. So they have an option to do it the way they want to. They can collect interest off of it, they can make it forgivable, either they can just collect $50,000 and move that funds on to another project or to another homeowner.
Mr. Chair, I like the fact that housing, for two reasons. Rent, number one, does not, wealth for anyone, except the business owner or the landowner. At the same time, even there's very little rental property, as well as any homes being purchased here in Bladen County. And that's one of the issues we identified as our strategic plan. Sometimes to provide homes for people to come in. Not just people come in, but the ones who live to stay. And you're right, we're losing people. We continue to lose even our school system. they're losing students because there's no place for parents to stay. They get jobs, they try to find jobs out of the county, so they have to live outside the county. If you look in Leland, it's grown, it's taken years. Nevada, Northwest, simple. Probably have more homeowners in Northwest than live down in Bladen County in the last couple of years, and they're still growing. And the companies, when they come in, there's no housing for them. So if they bring a company here, well, I guess but if they came in, there's no place for them to live. And if so, I mean, not even to rent. So I think it's something that we decided several years ago, but we haven't done it. It's a dream, but somehow, sooner or later, we need to find a place or a program or something like this to develop the housing for our citizens. At least try to get someone to come back to Bladen County.
Incidentally, in here, I did not mention USDA, who's a real partner of ours, who has already awarded me $1.5 million to do a project. I was supposed to do one in Lumberton. That one fell through. Owner increased the price of the property on it, so that couldn't make the numbers work. So I was asked to move that over here if all possible. So those are some additional funds that can be used to make this project work, as we choose to go to it. I just haven't included it all. I was basically showing you around what we do in Cumberland County every day, all the time. In my home buyer club right now, I have 10 people in my home buyer club, and I got 10 houses under construction. Each one of those people will be buying that house, and we meet once a month to talk about issues and things that's going on in the home buyer, in the nation around affordable housing. So they're very much aware of what's going on. Now, also in Cumberland County, like I said, both the City of Fayetteville and Cumberland County are entitlements. So they do get home funds. And when I mentioned earlier to you about, I thought it was kind of odd that you can buy a house, that you can build a house and sell it for less than you built it for. That's because you're using home funds from HUD. And that's what that is designed for, specifically to make houses affordable. I know that sounds odd. It did sound crazy to me before, but I understood it as I began to learn and work in this arena. That's part of their goal, is to make houses affordable. Because a for-profit developer cannot get the money that nonprofits can get, because the government is not in the business of enriching for-profit businesses at this time. They're not in the business of enriching nonprofit businesses too. However, the money that we make outside of our administrative costs go into doing another project. It must do that. That's by law. Once we sell a house, once our proceeds come back in, we must use that money to move on to other projects as we exclude our administrative costs out of it.
Yes. You keep saying the city, is this, we're talking about the town of Elizabethtown, is that what we're talking about?
The
The houses being built. You keep saying water and sewer, we wouldn't supply that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Where the houses would be built.
No, I just made them, I said, what I was saying was, Bladen County collects property taxes. Y'all are not collecting water and sewer fees. That's the town.
He said, where you put it,
Where
you
you
put
put
it
it,
in Dublin, or if you put it in Elizabethtown, or if you put it in Bladen. Yeah, that's exactly.
You don't have a site in mind?
We had several sites in mind. I'm just putting one that I saw in,
I'm asking if it's in town.
It's in town.
It's Elizabethtown.
it's in Elizabethtown, yes. Mhm.
Are they paying anything? Are they putting any skin in the game, so to speak?
No. We have not included that into any of this because I haven't had a conversation with them. If we were to move forward with this, then my engineer and I, we would come and we would meet with them to see would they be willing to or not. Again, this is just preliminary. It gets deeper once we get an agreement, And then we start digging in with bring my engineer down, and we work with all the planning department and everyone that's involved in order to complete his project. Then we'll know cost analysis on everything at that time. This cannot turn out to be very different. I was just basically showing you what we do in the city of Fayetteville and the city of Spring Lake, Cumberland County.
Carl, so if that's $1 million and take 40+ years to get it back, it's not a very good deal. I know, that's fine. I know we need housing, but you talk about USDA's $1.2 million. And if there's other opportunities or other ways that you can show us a different way to do it, so that we don't have so much skin in it, we would entertain that, I think. But we could probably draw interest off $1 million in 40 years and make more money.
You are creating affordable housing for people, and you're creating a better living standards for people in the house, in this community. Now, this is just a 16-unit subdivision, but economy of scale, we go with a larger project, then it gets a little bit easier. The numbers works different.
What I'm saying is, you say you take that money and reinvest it. Well, we need to see something on writing and see that stuff in writing, how this process really works.
That's what the attorneys will do.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna commit to anything till we see I'm not gonna commit to anything till I see the big picture of this whole thing. And you keep adding stuff to this, like that $1.2 million from USDA, and then the money keeps being invested back in, but I haven't seen anything where that's in writing or anything like that. And what I'm saying is, $1 million is a lot of money in Bladen County. I know we need the housing, but $1 million is a lot of money in Bladen County. And we don't need to wait 40 years to get it back. But there's some other ways. I'm trying to see if there's different ways you can present what you're trying to present with all this other stuff you added during this conversation to see that if that $1 million is less than $1 million. And if the years to take to pay back is less than 40+ years. That's what I'm trying to.
Right. The bigger the project, the easier the numbers get to get that back. The bigger the project, the more investment that we can get into the project. Grant you, the 16-unit subdivision is just a very small one. It's a very small one.
That's what I'm
on the
telling
numbers
you.
that we were trying to work with.
You got to sell us a bigger project or something, because I don't think this 16 unit ain't gonna get it for $1 million.
So when we came before, we were trying to find a project to look at. Parcels. We were trying to find land to look at to purchase. There was not, we had several different plots of land that were all over, and we could not decide on which one we wanted to go in initially. So what we decided was, let's go with a smaller project so that we can make an impact, if possible, to make an impact here. Now, we could probably do this with less funds if I pull USDA in. I have not done that here, which I probably will do, put USDA in. They're looking for a project. I have $1.5 million available to me. All I need to do is just apply for it again, and we can get it again to go into a project.
I'm just saying, it's hard to see the domino approach that you're saying, all the money gets invested back, and it's just hard for me to see all that. Then the 40+ years for $1 million, I don't know how I can grab a hold of it.
So let me try a little different approach in respect to kind of how this works as it relates to the capital stack in general. You put $1 million on the table. On day one, once everything's completed, you've got a little over $4 million worth of total value as a result of what's gone into the capital stack, because you've got enough housing finance agency money going in, you've got potential the USDA money going in, you've got what's that other source called for the rural center. You got rural center money going in. So you're leveraging 4 million with $1 million, basically on day one, in order to essentially generate the tax base. We've been using the term affordable housing tonight, but really what we're talking about is affordable and workforce housing. The very first time that we visited Chairman Peterson and Mr. Britt and several others of you, I know Commissioner Goins was there and Commissioner Bullock for certain. And obviously former Commissioner Cogdell, we spoke and we heard you loud and clear in respect to the challenges that you were having as it relates to having a place for school teachers to live. We had an opportunity to go by and see the massive labor facility that Smithfield had, and we talked about, the number of people who commuted across the state line, quite frankly, to come to work at that facility because of the challenges with housing. We had an opportunity to understand the strategic planning concerns that was raised earlier. And so ideally, what our interest was making sure that we didn't come to you and say, you're going to do a 16-unit housing project, affordable and workforce housing project, and it's going to cost you $4 million on day one. Effectively, what you're doing is you're leveraging $4 million by investing $1 million in order to get that amount of tax base on day one. And so that's a little different way of sort of explaining what is going on and how this model works with the federal government and other state agencies who would be partnering, quite frankly, to make this development happen. If that helps any.
And that's what I'm trying to explain to you the best I can, not knowing a whole lot about it. All these other partners you're talking about,
Mhm.
they need to be at the table tonight. That money USDA needs to be on this table, and it needs to try to lower our cost. Because 40+ years to get $1 million back, that's not a good deal. I don't care who, ain't nobody gonna sit there and tell me that's a good deal. But I'm saying, if there's something you can manipulate it and explain this domino, but all the money goes back in there and what y'all actually gonna get out of the house, and let's just see where it is, and make sure that your nonprofit ain't making all the money, and we're waiting 40-something years to get our $1 million back. I'm just trying to understand it. I'm being as honest as I can be with you. But if there's money there that you can put into this to change the presentation, then that's what I'm asking you to do.
Just want to add about the $1.5 million you have USDA.
Another thing, I'm still having a hard time, 16 homes, quarter or third acre lot or less, one street necessarily. I still don't see where it costs $400 some dollars a square foot. When you're looking at 1,300 square foot house, and you're looking at 16 homes and between $4 and $5 million.
That is, the $194,000 was for physical cost to build.
Vertical and horizontal. Vertical and horizontal.
No, the one for
Mr. Bullock.
I suggest you give us a written summary document, what you got, your plans are, give us a written document on that, including USDA funding, and give us a complete written document so that we can review what you're talking about.
Any other questions?
No, I can quite understand the overall cost and how long it would take. But at the same time, history has it repeat itself. So we don't want to repeat some of the, I'm sure, they want to repeat some of the same issues we've had, trying to do housing someplace else. And it may end up being a few years longer, before we get to develop anything in Bladen County. Because there doesn't seem to be any property anywhere, that anyone is willing to sell. They're definitely not going to give it away. I think with somebody in Bladensboro or Dublin.
problem, well, the key to this is, and around what we do in Cumberland County, is that, like I say, we use home funds. It's easier for them to put $1 million into a project to build 10, 15, 16 homes. They are not which I understand, y'all are a little bit different, because those home funds are not expected to come back. When those home funds come back as proceeds, we must use that money to build other houses. It is not enriching us. It is in order to build my land and build other houses. Now, can I use my proceeds that I made from the houses, the 10 houses that I got right now, to use those proceeds as our funds to come into Bladen County to actually buy property, okay? Buy property. Leave that money into the project to make the houses even more affordable. After about 2 years, I probably could do that, because those are home funds used to make houses affordable for the low to moderate income families. That's something that we possibly could do in the future. What we're trying to do is to gather all of our support from all of our partners to make this project, to make a project work into a rural area of town, of the state. That is what the Housing Finance Agency is doing. That is what the Rural Center is doing, and that is what the Institute is doing. We could make it happen, but there has to be some investment from the county and our town to make these projects work. Now, if the town would go out and say, okay, let's buy this property, and that's your investment into the deal. If the town would say, okay, we're going to abate your taxes or whatever, you're going to help in the planning department to make this project work. Whatever you can do to make this project work, we're more than glad to try to pull our partners together and make it work. We will, we have. It's just that at somewhere, it has to start somewhere. And what we're doing is trying to do the best that we can to make the houses affordable. We don't make a lot of money off this. We really don't. I work on a salary. We're just trying to make the houses affordable for the client.
So, $1 million to Cumberland County is nothing. $1 million to Bladen County is a lot of money. And that's one difference. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you keep talking about domino effect and the money coming back in, but we haven't seen anything in writing, and we don't need to do nothing as a board. We've learned our lessons right here in the last 6 to 8 months. We ain't doing nothing without a written contract and everything written out, and we understand it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you got some USDA money and that money's going domino back, then we need to understand that. We need to see that. I don't need to hear it. I need to see it.
Yeah, our attorney and your attorney supposed to have gotten together by now.
There's nothing about dominoes and all this stuff in there, the one I read. But I mean, just, we can have them look at it again, if that's okay with the board. I mean, I don't have no problem looking at it again. I mean, we definitely need housing. But we need a deal. And we don't need to wait 50 years to get our money back, not in Bladen County. But I'd be glad to do that, if that's good.
There was a set site.
There's still a site, there is,
Okay, Elizabethtown.
somewhere back there, I think.
Yeah, it's on MLK.
Behind my house.
Yeah, MLK.
How many acres? 4 or 5 acres?
About 5 acres.
4 or 5 acres.
I mean, we're glad to do that, but we're not ready to make a decision tonight. I mean, unless y'all, I'm reading the board wrong or whatever, what's the direction, is that good enough for direction for us? or-
And who actually is the builder? Do they use
This group.
I'm sorry?
you actually build the houses and you have your own?
Yes, we are the developers and we're the contractors also. I've been doing this for 15, 20 years in Cumberland County, in Spring Lake, in Fayetteville, city of Fayetteville. This is our primary. This is what, and I probably built over 150, 20-some houses altogether at that time, all for sale.
Yeah, we all agree it's something we need to figure out a way to do it. We need it.
So
Well,
what would,
how?
I'm sorry? Yeah, so what would you like to see? So that if I come back.
Well, I'd
again, I
like to
want
see,
to be-
you talk about the $1.5 million USDA that you could put in there. And then you talk about the money that's made off profit, eventually comes back to more houses in Blaine County. I mean, I like to see that stuff, I would like to see that, board, y'all help me.
How about scenarios like hypotheticals on the county, how the county could get their money back in 15 years? Yeah, I mean, I'm being hypothetical, or if the county were to buy the land and, you know, they were saying skin in the game, you know, that you said something has to start or something.
Yeah.
You know, like those kind of different scenarios, like, for example, you know, those kind of things. Okay, in other words, if the county, you know, we had land, here's the land, let's get to it, where our initial investment, you know, wouldn't be such a big outlay.
We had that, we briefly had a conversation.
We have some land that the county has some money, land that we can use?
Well, we own that, we own the land at,
Okay, how about that?
at Mercer Mill.
I mean, we have money, we can have land.
I'm just being
That's another
hypothetical.
option. I mean, that's another option there.
We just gotta get more, a better way to do it.
Well, I forgot about that.
It might have outside.
We need to have, just
That would be a good site.
help us understand.
What side is that?
There's a piece, not 70, almost 90 acres across from
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah, the land, I mean, right out
We
here.
own it.
Yeah, the bypass. Yeah, I mean,
But they, infrastructure, water and sewer, we can get that.
that's the only
maybe.
problem, yeah.
So then now, that comes in where, on a larger site like that, which is good, I love doing larger sites like that. We've done several of them.
Try it already.
Now, the participation from the town or from the county, you know, the water, how we have to bring the water to the site.
Yeah.
Okay, so there should be some help in doing that to make it even more affordable. Then when you get into that, you're not just you're doing the mixed use community at that time, because now we're talking about a lot more houses. We're doing, what we call mixed use, there's LMI and there's market rate, all mixed in together, you never know what's happening. Then, those are the kind of projects that, you know, we have done, we love doing those. It's just that what I'm doing here, home fund is funds that are given to us to make these things work. There's no participation that we were asking for, only just for down payment assistance for the client. That could be reduced when these other funds start coming in to help the client buy the house.
We're not making a deal with you or anyone else where we don't understand where the money's gonna come from and when it's gonna start coming or how much we're gonna put in there. Ain't gonna be no blank check or ain't gonna be up and ended on no more. We've learned our lesson. Down this kind of has taught us well.
And that's totally understandable.
That's totally understandable.
But ideally, I'll say the last thing, that I said before we left the last time, and that was essentially this. When you're talking about packaging these projects and essentially getting this much additional subsidy from other entities, and they're not gonna do anything if you're not gonna have any skin in the game. I guess that's the simplest way I can see it.
But we're having to put as much skin as anybody else is. It's not like we're putting half the skin in and they're putting the whole skin. We're putting $1 million and they're putting $1 million or 1.2 in there. I mean, we're matching it's like dollar for dollar almost.
No,
From this town.
this project, once it's, you're talking about
From
Elizabeth,
this town.
right?
They're not saying. Well, this town has to do something.
Well, they're not in, yeah. But I'm talking about these other, sources. Again, you're putting in $1 million, for what will effectively on 16 units be about 4.1 million when everything is completed. That's both vertical and horizontal.
16 homes and that much money, you just better go ahead and give them the deed.
So, you know, if you want to come back, be more happy to listen to it, but we're not ready as of tonight, but we entertain it and you call me and we get lawyers where we need to do to see if we can work through it. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
5B is considered doctrine conflict of interest policy. Motion by Mr. Hester, second by Mr. Ellis. All, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. 5C is considered code of conduct. Second, Mr. Hester, second by Mr. Good. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. D is considered doctrine rules of procedure. Motion to approve. Mr. Hess, second by Mr. Ellis, any discussion? E is so this is, E is, we're looking at, trying to get a vendor to do the pay study. Does any commissioner want to be part of that study? I know Mr. Brooks said he would. Anybody else? Mr. Brett? Anyone else? Okay, so, Marie, Mr. Bullock, Mr. Brett, and myself will be part of that committee. Make a motion by Mr. Harris, second by. Second. Mr. Gillespie, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So 5F is what we added, is the technology use policy and amendment to incorporate NCG 143-805. And it's talking about, it was in the red there, pornography and all this stuff. So I'm entertaining a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Hester, second by Mr. Good. Any discussion? Let's see about that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? So item 6A is, we were going to discuss it tonight, but it's only information. The 6A is talking about foster children, and we're about out of money, so in January, we'll be back, bringing back the actual numbers needed to add more money to that foster program, okay? So just information and more information to come on that. 7 is Health Department, Dr. Terry Duncan.
Sir, I'll try to be brief tonight. The first item is review of the Board of Health evaluation of public health ordinances, and that's part of your responsibilities as the Board of Health. You have in your folder that I gave you a licensing, zoning, and tobacco prevention. There are 2 ordinances that the county has that affect public health. Directly, one is the animal control ordinance, and the other we might need. So the first one, the animal control ordinance, the Animal Control Board has recommended updating the animal control ordinance, and we are working on a draft for that. And it would be forthcoming to you. And then the second is consideration for a zoning ordinance. You may have, I'm sure you have heard from us in the past about the need for tobacco vaping cessation in the work we look at with the HRSA grant, all the work that we've done, but yet we continue to have vaping stores popping up all over the county. Columbus County just passed an ordinance, a zoning ordinance a month or so ago. At their public hearing, they had to delay the public hearing for about 2 weeks, and it actually was to their advantage, because in the discussion, even on that night, they found that they could make the ordinance stronger. And so 2 weeks later, when they had the opportunity to vote on the ordinance, they actually made the zoning footage, doubled the footage that it could be from, that a vape store could be from a child care, church, playground, anywhere where children under the age of 18 gather. And they also were able to add some further guidance that if vape stores already existed, then they would have a certain period where they might have to look for another business. So I just asked for your evaluation of whether or not we need to look at public health ordinances.
Why would we have somebody to move their business? Because they wouldn't be grandfathered in?
They would be grandfathered in for the, and these are just, considerations that Columbus County took in, and 1 or 2 other counties have. Whiteville City has a different zoning ordinance than the county does. And they are looking at municipal ordinances in other parts of Columbus County as well.
So these vape shops are sometimes selling stuff they shouldn't be selling. And it's getting fine water. But this would only be outside the city limits. Would be no jurisdiction inside the
County.
Yeah, county. Is there interest to move forward on a zoning order?
Do we have a lot of them in the county? I don't know, I seen this count.
That's terrible.
What?
So that's not to move forward? Yes. Okay, move forward.
So the second item is an update regarding public health. And you have in your packet the November, early December information report. Just for your information, we did have a rabies case that was reported to us on November the 12th at West Hester Street and Gooden Street intersection in Clarkton. It involved a raccoon, and no humans were involved, but we did have some domesticated animals that had to be, had some additional rabies injections or vaccine. So to date, we're at pretty much where we have been since 2018 with the number of submissions per year and the number of positive cases. The most we've had since 2018 was 4 positive cases. And since that time, only 1 domesticated animal, and that was a dog in 2022. When we look at overall on this date, I did have a press release that went out to the local paper as well as WECT and WWAY. For influenza, if you look at the bottom graph on where the red, right now we're a little bit below the rate for influenza for us. Our region is usually a little bit higher. This was as of 12/6/24, and it was prior to the Thanksgiving data. So we are expecting that to increase a little bit with the holidays and kids. But we are offering the vaccine. Please come and get your flu vaccine. You do not need a appointment for that. If you're coming for the COVID vaccine, we ask that you call and make an appointment for that so that we can make sure that we have it. Ma'am? Do we have to pay? We can file insurance and then we'll work it out if you don't have any insurance. When we look at the C is our substance abuse disorder and work that we're doing there. In the prevention activities, it speaks basically to the life skills program out in the schools. And Mr. Peterson, Trish Blackman, and I had the opportunity to visit the school. And on that day, the children were very engaged. And they have taken the program out of their normal curriculum, and you may be aware of the parents opt in, the parents' right deal. So where it was, and this life skills program does meet the curriculum for North Carolina schools, but at this point, the parents have to opt in for the children to attend. So you can see, based on the school systems, where they are. For treatment and recovery, we are proud to work with Cape Fear Valley and Bladen here, and we're putting a peer support specialist in the ED with no-cost extension of the HRSA grant, and that person did start this month. For budget and personnel, we are continuing to be over revenue proposal and under expenditures for the month, and we have filled several positions. I want to flip, if we can, in the case of time, to the last section, that's quality. And the client surveys are in the next packet that you see. This is the client surveys from fiscal year 2019 to 2015, a summary. When we look at, in 2019, we were only getting 96 surveys back per year. And we determined at that point that we needed more surveys. So every client that comes is asked to complete a survey. As you can see now, we're averaging 102 client surveys returned to us every month. We started in 2019 with 18 complaints with our highest. When we got more monthly surveys back, we got more complaints, of course. Most of those complaints were about wait time, and we have worked diligently to have wait time as not a complaint. You can see this past year, we had no wait time complaints at the health department in that second graph. So that's information for our quality related to services provided and timeliness. Also, part of our accreditation and just the need to look at community is the community input on healthcare service needs. Dr. Genzel, one of our advisory committee members, asked his staff to tell them what would improve health in Bladen County. That was presented to our Health and Human Services Board. We looked at it both at our management staff meeting with that board, and basically it's communication. We're offering a lot of the things that were in that survey. It's just communicating the need. Healthy Bladen has also chosen as one of their 2 priorities, communication, so we're going to be working on that. For, you did approve an environmental health specialist, and Caitlin Mitchell has completed her environmental health specialist written test, and her field test is this week, so we hope to have her authorized by then. It is with great pleasure that I say that our case management for maternity, high risk, and our at-risk children, both of those programs have met the thresholds that we now can qualify to even apply to be a provider under the new Medicaid grants that will come after 2025. And that was like we were flying the airplane as it was being built because we didn't get the indicators until about 1.5 years out on the 3-year contract. So a lot of work went into that, and just Amber Scholler and Andra Singletary have done a remarkable job there. We've already talked about the public health ordinance, and then our accreditation visit is January the 29th of 2025. Our deadline to submit the data is Thursday at 3 p.m. We had a November deadline for 80% of it. We exceeded that. After we get through this meeting tonight, I'll be able to submit the last few documents. Our last item, in addition to this, is our Board of Health training. As the Board of Health, you're required when you have new board members to have training, and that's one of the things we really need to talk about is how often you do that. Moving not just when you're first elected, and we do have to do that in the first 3 months. So you have a choice. You can do that online or in person. And just wanted to see about some guidance to see how you might want to move forward with that. That's your blue packet. Okay.
Thank you. On first, you go.
Good evening, each of you. I'd like to review the dashboard for November 30th of 2024. At the end of November, our general fund revenues were at 37.91% of the budget, and our expenditures were 35.77. Solid waste was at 52.43% of the budget and spent 35.67. Emergency telephones, 8.66 in revenues and 43% in expenditures. And I'll say on that, that's partly because of a grant. So, the water department, we had received 40% and spent 21. Any questions on the dashboard? And on the federal inmate program, right now, let me see, we have an average of 65 people, and as of last Monday, we had 72 federal inmates.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Consider an IM responding subscription order, Mr. David Howe.
Good afternoon, or evening, sorry, tired. We're just asking for consideration for a subscription for 1 year to try the program. Robinson County EMS use it, and we actually have a couple of volunteer fire departments here in the county using it currently now. This program does integrate with Southern Software, which is our CAD vendor. I've already talked with them. And what it does, currently we have PageGate. We only get the text information only with the call, dispatch code, and address, and that's it. This would give actual dispatch data as far as what the telecommunicator's putting in real time, which is helpful. So Mr. Hester probably can tell you as far as what you're going to. for safety reasons and things like that. It includes mapping from the CAD system to mark the location. We also have the ability to mark hazards within the mapping if needed, and we can mark LZs within the mapping too, which when the call generates, we can look at the map, it'll tell you exactly where to go, and it'll show you the closest appropriate LZ if they need to be from. And the subscription price is $810. They will have a price increase if we don't secure it before January 1 of 25%.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Love that, Marie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
That might help the other situation too.
David, I was waiting on Mark to get back. Let me add something to yours. So, what we ended up doing out there on, what's that road?
Farmers Union.
Farmer Union Road is, and we think this is the solution. We tested it, David's tested, the EMS tested it. On the, help me if I'm wrong, on the CAD, they put a pin there, so when EMS is called, that pin will show them exactly where to go.
The address, Mr.
And what we did also in EMS's protocol app that's on Android or iPhones and on the iPads in the trucks, we also uploaded a document. We use Google Earth to make a map for different avenues there with directions too, as a backup to it too. And it has been tested. Shelton tested it, I've tested it, and we used the ambulance.
We think we got it. Thank you, guys.
So if anyone from that area calls, and you get, not you guys call, but they call.
Right.
Right.
Then,
Right.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Hopefully we got it. So just, if you see those people down there, make sure that it's working.
I got the email, I talked to Mr. Jones.
Okay.
He was,
In fact, he called me this morning.
he was good with it.
Yeah, he told me this morning he was very happy.
And that was David, Robin, Heather, that was the whole crowd. Greg Elkins, I mean, it was a community effort, thank you.
I made a comment though, Dr. Duncan talked about the, environmental health. And I applied to have, protest. And I'm telling you something, it took about 8 months. I could not do anything. But those gentlemen, or at least 2 people, and I appreciate what they did. I mean, they were on it, Sally, everybody in that department has been awesome. And I know that they have done everything they could early on, but they had no one to actually come out and do the protest. And the same thing with water. When we pay for the service, and I'm gonna speak for myself, for sure. I pay for the service to have water tested or a perk test. I don't expect to wait a year or 8 months or 9 months, but they did get on it, and I thank you so much.
Entertained motion to go on water board. Motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. 3-2 water board. Don, you want to do this real quick? Let me do it.
You can do it. Good.
So, Alan had to come back, he's got one certification that we need, and Don's Alan, the ex-water manager.
Oh.
And he's gonna be doing some sign off and stuff until Don can get his certification, so we need to approve him coming back part-time. Motion by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And then we need to adopt a required property management policy related to water assets inventory and it's dealing with AIA. Motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion to exit water board, Mr. Cameron. Second. Second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, let's go down to advisory appointment boards. If we don't have them, we'll just table and come back next first year, okay? Ambulance Department. Reappoint. Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Were there names for the bar committee?
No, that's reappoint. It's reappoint.
Okay. Reappoint. Second by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Gillespie.
I'm sorry.
Any discussion?
Reappoint.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. A3 Lake Fire Relief Fund, reappoint Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Gillespie. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, Division of Aging Committee report. Was there some names there? Anybody know?
Just the names that was reviewed.
Okay, I just wanna make
Yeah,
sure.
the same people, why do you report?
Motion by Mr. Gillespie, reappoint, second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Economic Development Board.
Motion, we got to replace 5, I want to, Rich Glenn has resigned, I'll make a motion to add David Gooden in Rich Glenn's place, and we reappoint other 4.
Motion by Mr. Glenn, second by Mr. Cameron, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Health and Human Service Board.
I'm sorry. Ms. Harris, they used to be employed with, town of Bladen County.
Oh, yeah, we'll put Jan Hester, okay. Make a motion to add Jan to the Harris.
I'm getting my motion to add Jan
Maynard.
Second for that one.
Second.
So Harris stays in?
Harris is left.
Okay,
She's
so-
replaced Harris.
So you're placing, okay.
replacing Harris.
Yeah, yeah. I thought there was some of that stuff like that.
I didn't see her name.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Economic Development, did we vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Health and Human Service, motion, you say reappoint, Mark? Who said that?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Hester, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Hickory Grove, motion by Mr. Gillespie, second by Mr. Bullock, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. So this is the one, anybody got one name on this? Motion table?
Motion table, I got one, I get him.
You got one, okay.
I have, but
Motion by Mr. Gillespie's table, second by Mr. Brett, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Kelly firefighter,
Reappoint.
reappoint Mr. Aaron, second by Mr. Bullock, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. I know she wants to reappoint the library board.
Yes, reappoint.
Mr. Harrison, second by Mr. Gillespie, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, Elizabeth firefighter, reappoint Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Gooden. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, Elizabeth Fire Protection District 2, reappoint Mr. Bullock, second by Dr. Ophelia Montgomery. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Personnel Advisory Board, reappoint Mr. Gillespie, second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
She was on the personnel board, but they were all replaced her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they replaced her.
Tar Hill Firefighter Relief Board, Mr. Gillespie, second by Mr. Bullock. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? White Oak Fighter Relief Board, reappoint. Huh?
Yeah, Jim Knox passed away.
Jim Knox passed away.
Right.
Motion table.
Motion by Mr.
Yeah,
Gillespie,
I've got a name, I think.
second by,
You got one now?
I need to check with him.
second by Mr. Cameron. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? So the, 12 is advisory board for, January. So I have got, believe it or not, I have got that Keep Bladen Beautiful except, does your daughter still want to serve on the camera?
Sure.
Does anybody know another high school or college student? I need one student from East West Bladen.
West Blade.
Anybody got a name? That's all I need. We can deal this thing up. Help me between now and January, okay?
All right.
One student, or college student. Okay. Well, like community college. Lord, calendar review. Tomorrow, Volunteer Ag District, VAD, meeting at Powellville at 8:30 in the morning. Blood drive, Cape Fear Valley at 11 to 2. Special meeting of the Board of Commissioners at 6 o'clock at the community college. So we'll have to have lunch. I mean, you want something to eat for in? Thursday.
Have something, yeah.
Well, same thing, everything good, same thing last time?
Yeah.
Same thing, Miss Marie.
What dollar good?
That's Thursday.
Don't make that mistake one more time.
At 5 o'clock, so you did that time?
The 24th. I'm gonna check the places. The 24th, 25th, 26th, county office is closed. Harmony Hall, grand illumination is Saturday and Sunday.
So you say we'll be open on the 27th?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we got no choice out.
I said that, remember I said that last meeting,
I
this
ain't
is
sure,
my
man,
plan.
I'll make the motion
What
now.
else?
We
And
gotta
the reason
go
I
on the
did that,
calendar.
it didn't make sense to open up,
Yeah, we already got
do all that and shut back down.
Follow the
Maybe
state
next year.
calendar. Have we voted on the calendar next year?
Yes, we did, that's why I made that comment for next year, I said, let's cut it down.
Make a motion to scrap the calendar.
Show up when you want to.
Okay. Oh, God. January the first, offices closed, 6 a.m., 8 a.m. On Monday the sixth, 8 a.m., prayer service, commissioner meeting at 6:30. 14th is animal control board meeting. Miss Bladen County Youth Focus pageant is the 18th. County office is closed the 20th, Martin Luther King. The parade starts at 11 o'clock. Martin Luther King, downtown Elizabethtown. Board of Commissioners will meet that the 21st. Okay. Individual delegates wish to address the board. Commissioners, I got a couple of things. So, one thing is, I was approached by the veterans needing a little bit of money. They wanted $1,200 for, 3 months. They got a new, what do you call him, Doc, the new guy over the commander, where he is, Commander Chestill. Churchill. Ooh, good name. So, I pulled up the, art money, and it just so happens that Stockdale has $8,000 left, which will go to David Goodman. David Goodman will be responsible for that $8,000.
I think we vote on that, you just have to make that decision.
Okay. Make a motion. Motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Hester. Any discussion? The money should follow the seat.
I know it.
Okay. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. And Mr. David has agreed to give $1,200 to the veterans.
I'm getting
No.
motion.
You want to? No, what? You ain't got no vote on that.
Yeah, we do, we all vote on it.
Motion on the
I mean, I would
You got a
have donated.
motion on it?
And then I'm gonna take some.
Y'all done it, huh?
Yeah, we've always done it, we voted on it, you made us vote before.
Y'all said
And we go
aye.
against it.
Well, I didn't say you voted against David getting the money. Is that what you're saying?
I voted against transferring the money.
Yeah, they want to put.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
You were delayed answer, so.
You didn't ask for a no.
I did, I said all opposed.
No, you didn't.
Oh, my God.
I didn't hear it.
So, Doc, are you for or against it?
Well, I think it was in the way it should have been, we didn't spend it, y'all spent all your money, and it was, I don't know,
The money went to each commissioner, $50,000 originally.
Right.
And that was for their seat. You spend it in your district. So you say no, Arthur.
No, you spend it, where you spend
You
it?
spend it in your district,
and you want.
however you wanted to spend it. You saying no or yes, so you can get the vote right.
I was thinking that we should leave it as is.
As is what?
With us as is. That's what
So
I'm thinking.
you saying no?
Yes.
Arthur, Doc, you saying yes?
No, I can't, because at this point.
Okay, so one no, Ms. Marie.
But
So, David, it's all, I'll get with that Churchill and get him to fill out something and with Lisa and get that stuff right and we'll make that
what is it for again? What do you want to commend for what?
I tell you exactly what he's talking about. I don't know exactly what he's gonna use it for, but he's trying to reorganize and he's trying, having a hard time getting some veterans involved and stuff, and he's trying to get them reactivated, and he needs a little bit of starter money.
And I was saying though, I would also donate my money, I'm the veteran, and I'm for the organization.
Do you have much you want to give him, and I'll,
So I'd do $600.
okay, $600,
Yeah,
so that's $1,800.
You know, because they need.
Apply for it?
He's asked for it.
He's gonna do
We
the,
hadn't applied yet, though.
Wait,
he gonna have to go through the process.
he asked me for $1,200.
But doesn't he have to go through the?
We are.
Application?
Arthur doesn't, you gotta go through it.
Application.
I told Arthur, I told Mr. Good, I would get with Miss Lisa and get with the guy and get the information filled out and bring it next week. That's what I said.
All right.
Drop my 600. Let's make it 2,000, cause do 8 from that, because that's, I'm for the organization.
Okay, 8 and 12, okay, and I'll have that next meeting. All right, thank you, you'll be tickled to death. So, we'll talk about that road. So here is the fire study.
let me give you this, I just got this, Lisa just made them today for me. This is the fire study, and this is gonna take some time. So, you know, listen, let me make a suggestion. So, you know, we're gonna interview Thursday night for manager. Can we kind of be looking for a date in January to do a workshop, so if we hire someone, we'll be ready to, because we really need to sit down as a group. So can we kind of pick a date that works for everybody, an evening, or maybe from lunch on or something, Danny, can you sort of? Yeah. And this will be one thing we need to go over, whenever, in January, toward the end of January. Let's just pick one half a day or a whole day or whatever y'all can spare. And can we decide on that next meeting? That'd be good enough. Help me, we don't forget that, so we're gonna do that. Okay? And just look over this, now, there's a lot of stuff in here, and we'll review it at some point. Do we want to do it as a group, or we want to get a subgroup? Do it as a group.
Uh-huh.
Do it as a group. Okay.
I just, when you talk about it though, I don't see it how, well, okay, just a study, I'll wait until then, I'll talk about it.
There's a lot of requests and stuff in there.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna do it too good either. Okay.
I'm doing, ADR,
I'll forget something.
ADR.
We talked about the bridge, like, another wreck last week, another bad wreck.
Yeah, it was a bad rep.
ADR.
There it is to someone else.
I mean, I think a lot of people in the county are saying, what, 4.5 years? 4.5 years.
So, Vicki Smith is leaving at the end of December, so if you see her, thank her, tell her bye. Jill Sampson was hired today to replace her.
Who? Sorry.
Vicki Smith.
Oh, that's right, she was retired, that's right.
That's gonna be replaced. So, Ron's new with the water, Chip new with the service manager. Got a new division of agents, new BART director, got a new DSS.
Anybody, all of them from Bladen County?
Huh?
All of them employed, any of them from Bladen County?
What?
Any, new people?
Division of agents.
Jill's from Bladen County.
Yeah, most of them. No, hey, I put the commissioners on the interview thing, so you blame commissioners.
I didn't ask that, I just wanted to know,
I'm just
because
letting you know,
if they have housing, because they live in Bladen County, they probably already have housing.
Whatever, anything else? Anything else?
They got housing.
Hey. We done close, Mark.
No, go ahead.
You know, I kind of backed off of the closed session because it's the holidays, and I want to, let's leave today, and I hope everybody have a Merry Christmas and enjoy your family, and remember for what the season is. And if it's okay, after we close, I'll camel to dismiss us in prayers to go on the holidays. Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
Second, motion Bullock. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Everybody please stand, let the chairman dismiss us, please.